Albert Schweitzer once said, "I don't know what your destiny will be, but one thing I do know, the only ones among you who will be truly happy are those who have sought and found how to serve." One of the more important aspects that Schweitzer has stressed during his life was giving back to the community, serving those who are in need, and showing love and compassion to all living things. From his early years, being known as an expert in music and theology, to his later life, where he studied to become a medical doctor, he was always a true citizen of the world. When Albert Schweitzer was just a young boy, he noticed that his family was more financially stable than the other families in his neighborhood. So after his first day of school at just 6 years old, he decided that he wouldn't wear his more expensive clothes, and would instead dress like his poor classmates. Schweitzer was a genuinely caring and humble person who never wanted to be above anyone else. Age 18 was when he found his passion for music. Playing both the organ and the piano, he began to get recognized around Europe as a very talented musician. Playing in his father's church was where he picked up his love for God, and began preaching at nearby churches. In 1906, he published his first book, called The Quest of the Historical Jesus, which motivated him to write more books, both on the Christian faith and on music. After years filled with playing the organ and preaching the Holy Gospel, Schweitzer decided it was time to move on to the second phase of his life, which involved giving back to the world in ways that reflected his idea of reverence for life. Sitting along the Ogu River in Lambaréné, Gabon, a staff of medical professionals provide care for about 35,000 patients annually in the Albert Schweitzer Hospital. This modern facility, now including 2 operating rooms, a dental clinic, and wards for pediatric, adult medicine, and obstetrical patients, didn't start out the way it is today. It took years of hard work, dedication, and perseverance to turn an old chicken house into a safe and flourishing hospital. It all started in 1913, when a talented organist/preacher by the name of Albert Schweitzer came all the way from Germany with his wife to Central Africa in order to start a hospital for the native Africans. Within 9 months and little to no supplies, Schweitzer was able to treat over 2,000 Africans in the back of the chicken house, with just his wife assisting him. The compassion and love that Schweitzer had for his people was just incredible. He worked all day and night, aiding strangers who possessed diseases like leprosy and malaria without any pay. After about a year in Lambaréné, World War I broke out, and he was sent to France with his wife as prisoners of war. To fund his return to Africa, Schweitzer performed organ concerts all across the country. This financed the trip and also enabled Schweitzer to purchase more equipment and supplies for his hospital. Upon returning to Lambaréné, Schweitzer used the money from his tour to build a new hospital, now on stilts, to protect it from floods with stronger walls and ceilings to help keep out the animals. Schweitzer soon hired a staff, which brought out his quality of leadership. People looked up to him, and almost nothing was done without his permission. Schweitzer ran around the hospital like a madman, performing surgeries and giving hope to young and old African patients. His care for everything in nature showed in his work. Mosquitoes were never swatted, pests and insects were not doused with chemicals, and ant nests were not destroyed. His bright and outgoing attitude spread throughout the hospital, bringing joy to everyone. 35 years later, Albert Schweitzer's work was finally recognized. In 1952, he received the Nobel Peace Prize for his accomplishments in Africa and his humanitarian efforts around the world. But Schweitzer was more than just a doctor. He was a caregiver, and despite disease, war, old age, and no pay, was able to create this monumental hospital that is still standing here today. He has certainly led by example and inspired countless other people to do the same. Thank you.